Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, Cake Geek XX Chic, and we are here sadly at the finale of season 2 of The Wheel of Time. And the episode is called What Was Meant to Be, which is interesting considering that episode 3 was called What Might Be. So a little bit of a play on words there. And I do wonder how much of this might tie into what happened in that episode, which was very much focused on Nynaeve. But this is supposed to be Rand's episode, I believe, if I'm to believe the thumbnail. But anyhow, the last episode, really, to sum it all up, it was that all roads lead to Falm, right? Everybody who was dispersed throughout the season is now making their way to or already in Falm. And this seems to be in line with a prophecy about Rand, which is that he's supposed to declare himself as the dragon in Falm. And he's on his way there right now with Lanfear and Lan and Moiraine. Moiraine, who now has been unshielded, her powers are back, but at a pretty much a great cost, because now she had to go against the tower and more personally go against her long love of Suan in order to do this. But she believes she's on the right path. And again, we're not exactly sure if it is the right path. We're going to have to see. And I know I, for one, am very curious as to what Rand's plans are, because he's been pretty tight-lipped about what his thoughts are around what to do when he gets to Falm. But my guess is he has to play along to some degree to keep Lanfear and Ishamael from doing anything rash. And speaking of Ishamael, he had Mat brought to Falm last episode and basically just did the worst mind screw possible, getting him to believe that the only way he'll ever get to do or have any peace in his life is if he joins the dark and ends the wheel, so that he doesn't have to keep reincarnating and dealing with this nonsense over and over again. You see that as far as Egwene, there wasn't much on her except for the fact that they are testing her strengths. She's still very much bound, but her resolve is still 100% there to get away from these people as soon as she can. And then Nynaeve and Elaine, they met with Loyal, found out the situation of where Egwene was, and they're trying to formulate a plan. They managed to collar a Suldam, and that's basically as far as we heard of their plan, but they do have one now in their custody. We'll have to see where that goes. And then approaching Falm, we have Perrin along with his new Aiel friends, who are, of course, following the trail that he was following as far as the captured Shirin and Loyal. So, as I said, everybody is now converging on Falm, and we know that Ishamael and Lanfear are already there, and that they are both very formidable, using weaves that apparently even the Aes Sedai are not familiar with anymore. So yeah, I don't know if there actually is, like, they put the word showdown in the in the episode description. I don't think we're ready for a showdown of any sort right now with the way our group is, but if anything, I think it'd be great if a few people at least reconnected in this episode and at least got to figure out what was going on so they can figure out their next move and steal their resolve for whatever might come. Because we all know that this is not the end of the road by any stretch. But I'm interested to get into this episode. It's over an hour long, so let's get into it because I know I'm going to have a lot to say about it. I'm going to try to keep it short, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm about to get to the episode, but just before I do, a reminder that I do reactions here. This show, I know it's ending right now this season, but there will be another one. I'll be doing this one as well as many others. So if you'd like to support me on this journey or watch me do other things, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And if you like what you're seeing here, I would love it so much if you could show some love to that like button and leave your comments below. You guys have been so amazing all season with communicating with me through the comments and just letting me know what's up. So please keep that up. I love it and I appreciate it. All right, that out of the way, guys, let's get into the episode right about now. Oh my gosh, that's a flashback. So this now back to the Forsaken. He should have. He really, really should have. Fool. Apparently that was a lie.
Inda luz.
Inda.
Dode vor.
Asano ninto mirdayen, ninto human.
Friend? Now I'm interested in the nature of their relationship. So interesting, they didn't think that he'd be able to break the seal, but that's exactly what Rand did. Unless Luz wasn't able to, but Rand's able to because he's like stronger. But yeah, now I'm actually genuinely curious as to the nature of their relationship, because it sounds like they were friends and we never really got that impression by the way he talks to Rand. But I guess Ishmael would have a reason to be pretty salty if he's been locked away for 3,000 years rather than killed, which is what he asked for. So, who directed this episode? Yeah, Sanaa Hamri. That's amazing. I love her. Sorry. She directed a movie that I loved from years ago. Now you again. This
A few hours to take the tower.
this ecology is very interesting.
Our enemy outnumbers us. They are better supplied, better armed, better fortified. But we have something they don't. That's all for now.
That's it? What do we have? Fear? Fear of wolves?
These strangers are slavers and murderers. We fight them because we must.
That part is true. I'd almost admire you if you didn't, treat channelers the way you do.
Above the watchers shall the dragon be proclaimed, bannered across the sky and fire.
Thank you for that exposition, sir.
Prophecies are just the lies of long-dead witches.
Are they? Perhaps you should go into the ways and see for yourself.
The way get to fall? Open it. Why don't you? Ishmael took my power from me.
Oh, she saw.
Oh, you are so good at twisting your words in knots.
Thank you, it's a talent.
You've got it back. I can see it in you.
Right? You forgot she's a woman? She can see your weave, sis. She's so much more powerful than you right now, sweetie. I'm sorry. Damn, she said get out. But I had a feeling she wasn't going to let them just tag along. Well, good question.
Open it!
There are faster ways to farm than this, even.
Huh?
I'm the only one who actually cares about you, Ran.
There might be some truth to that, actually. But still.
Ishmael, Moraine, they just care about what you can do. Come with me.
Do I have any choice?
At the moment, no. Unless you can navigate the ways yourself. Okay, so she can teleport. That's very helpful. And that also explains what happens last episode with Matt. Some people in the comments let me know, but yeah, if that makes sense. Damn, the Aes Sedai really are behind. That's sad.
Many people will wake from their dreams today.
Okay. I like the peaceful way that they talk about death. They make it sound lovely. Uh-oh. If the dog says no, it's probably not a good thing.
Stay. It's not safe.
Protect him. So is it a Forsaken thing that you gotta wear black, or?
I brought Ran.
Now. To fall.
Oh, don't be upset.
We're nowhere close to ready.
You're delaying the inevitable.
Which
It
is?
will happen or it won't. No amount of time or planning will change that.
She's sunning you.
Not going to choose us. It's too soon.
And I feel like it's more than just one simplistic choice. Since the way they're describing this is not going to be a quick one and done, you know?
I told him that I'd help him kill you.
And I meant it.
Will you?
Exactly.
Why did I wake you?
Because you're a fool.
I balance you.
Not you.
This is creepy. They deserve each other. Ah, yin and yang. I see that. Very, very apropos. Why are children out here? This is not the place for children. God, these white cloaks just get worse and worse. I mean, yeah, I get they're a distraction, but still, they're children. Are those little things making all that mist? Oh, y'all are deaf too, huh? So this thing's sound canceling smoke? I mean, here's the thing. I'm not mad at it because the Shan-Chan do need to get their butts kicked, but just these are not the saviors we asked for. These are not the joys we're looking for.
How do I look?
Terrifying, but awesome.
Now she's going to tell us everything about the place they call the kennels.
Oh, look at the tears. I thought you were badasses.
Your behavior in this cell is one thing, but when a Demane disobeys orders in battle, the first punishment is to take her tongue.
That's awkward.
Now, stand!
You're gonna have to right now, sweetie. You need both your tongue and your hands.
I said, stand.
She already knows that she has you.
Perhaps it'll hurt.
Already knows. It'll grow back.
Now, come.
Sorry, she just made it harder for you to do that ridiculous style you try to put her in all the time. But you see that look in her eyes? That's murder. I love it. Murder, she wrote.
Lanfear's betrayed us.
But she's sworn to him.
There are many paths to walk through the night.
Okay.
The dragon might not swear himself. We haven't had enough time.
But you need him to break the wheel.
He'll only break the wheel if it turns to the dark. I may have to wait until his next life. I suppose I have nothing if not time.
So do you all have eternal life, or is that just Lanfear?
No. I know who kills him. What he uses to do it.
Oh, see? Okay, this is good. He's taking... There's that damn dagger. But yeah, he's taking her vision at face value. And again, we did not see Rand die.
What are you doing here?
Returning your property. It is a beautiful dagger, if evil. Can't deny the workmanship. Just wish it was silver. Never been a fan of gold.
Don't lie to me!
Okay, yes.
Where would they have taken Egwene?
She will F you up. You don't understand.
What are you doing to her?
Channeling all my pain.
It's like a bundle of sensations. All I have to do is push.
Ooh, I love Nynaeve's dark side. Even with the dark makeup, it's working for me.
We are going to the tower, and he will take us there. And if you don't, if you even try to get help, I promise you, I'll make you curse the first kiss your mother ever gave your father.
Ooh! Oh! Stop it, Nynaeve! Nynaeve! She gonna be a dark horse in this, and I love it. Dark Nynaeve era loading, and I'm for it. Don't look at her like that, Elaine. It is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, there she is, but what can you do? Oh, you can remove her collar, actually, maybe. You can touch it. Wait, where's Lanfear? Why would he just leave?
What makes you think that I'm stupid enough to touch it again?
Oh, Matthew.
I can see the shadow in you. We all can.
But to see the darkest parts of your soul, to accept them, to embrace them. Well, that's real strength, man.
Just because you embrace them doesn't mean you have to give in to them.
I'm not gonna touch it.
I think you are. Unfortunately. Look at his face. Yeah, he's like, yeah, you will. The way you're pushing yourself back in that chair like you're fighting. You know what's harsh too is that like some of this is absolutely suggestion, and I feel so bad for Matt because he is easily suggestible. Some of us are, you know, but again, that's because he doesn't have a sense of himself yet. Nynaeve, firm sense of self. Egwene, firm sense of self. Poor Maddie, still figuring it out. And that's why he can be just pushed in the right direction. He just drifts. Oh, Maddie, I feel for you, babe.
The bond. We're going to talk about it.
Nope. Let's walk.
After everything I've done to you.
I never asked for my bond to be released. Nor will I. I think you're afraid.
She's entitled.
You don't want me to know how weak you feel. Or unprepared. Overwhelmed. Because then you'll have to face it yourself. It took me a long time to accept what you said about us not being equals. But I understand it now. And I believe in what you do.
He does.
The only reason that I was able to say that you're not my equal is that I've known one thing to be true since the first day we met.
Yes.
You have always been my better.
Aw. Don't you make Land tear up. Not in this desert. We need to conserve water. Give him his bond back, please.
Let me back in.
He's chosen you over and over again, ma'am. For better or worse, he's effectively your husband. I love the serenity of this scene, considering what's happening. It's healing in many ways. cute. Okay, let's get on with saving the world. Let's go. Enough of this mushy crap. Thug. These poor Falmians. Is that what you call them? Falmites? They've been through a lot.
Egwene?
The children have her.
Sorry, do you know what that is? Do you know how many of our men in Feldara died protecting that?
Then you take the box and go. We're not leaving Egwene. It's not happening.
We are all the heroes of another age's legend.
That's right. Let him know.
I start acting like it.
He said what he said. I would not advise pissing off an Ogier, okay? You guys are gonna have to move quickly though, because if Egwene's forced to do her worst, it's gonna be bad for y'all. You don't have to aim true. I mean, if you have to shoot it, just don't aim true. Although she does have beef with those white cloaks, so I mean, oh, this is rough, because in a way, like, she deserves her revenge, but at the same time, they're helping you, maybe. Ugh. I get it.
Good girl.
This woman, I really need Renna to get hers.
Stand aside.
You people did this.
You better give me my woman back.
Let us see what is required to earn the Heron Blade on this side of the ocean.
I don't know if you're. Oh, can you actually fight with them nails though? That pedicure or manicure don't look like it can stand up. Oh, Rand. Oh, man. Oh. That shit was hot, Rand. That shit was hot. That's the hottest thing you've done all season. Oh, okay. Well, thanks. That made it a lot easier for me. That's great. Can we move on? Where's Egwene? We're not even actually where Egwene's at yet. I'm gonna need you to walk faster. Bro's like, I really thought I was gonna die faster doing this. Oh God, it hurts. Okay. Well, y'all better go while he's doing this, because he wanted to be a hero. You guys better just... Oh, honey. You went out like a G, though. You went out like a G. At least it was quick.
I still don't understand why you only woke her.
Too dangerous, I think, the others. But everything that I could find out said that Lanfear, Luz Theron, and Ishamael were inseparable before the War of Power.
That makes sense with what we saw in the beginning scene. Ah.
Just like these kids.
Lanfear planned this.
Yeah, obviously.
You know that broken piece of Quaindia I sold you a few months back? Well, I have an inkling that when this city falls, I can get my hands on some that are fully intact. 6 of them. I'm going to take them to the deepest part of the ocean and throw them in, where no one can ever find them.
Dump them.
So there's other Forsaken here, and she doesn't want them to be awakened? That makes sense, if that's the case. That's what I'm assuming, right? Because that was part of her seal that he tried to sell Moiraine, right? So she's trying to make sure the rest don't get woken up, which makes sense based on what Moiraine just said.
I have other tasks to attend to. The girl's in place?
Why were his hands dusty?
My lord remembers you gave it to Turok for safekeeping, perhaps.
Stop talking.
Right, this is not a combo you need to be part of. You need to leave.
Take them to a ship directly below the tower. We have a clear line of sight on it. And wait for my signal.
But, Lord, I just...
They know how to gentle a man.
Of course.
Do they? Is that what they're going to try to do to Rand? Interesting. So Ishamael is willing to take Rand right off the board for this generation rather than possibly lose him, whereas Lanfear is willing to let it play out. So interesting. It makes me wonder how the relationship with those three back in the day, how that worked. It's kind of feeling like maybe Luz was like the balancing between the two. Okay, we definitely applaud the ingenuity. He turned it into a spear. How interesting. But it's still whispering too, so I mean, I'm assuming direct contact affects it, but It sounds like since it can whisper it to him too, it's not enough. And I'm assuming that this, well, no, I guess it whispers to everybody. I can't remember from season 1 if it just whispers to Matt or other people. And I'm assuming maybe Matt's the only one who can make it do that. Of course, he's like, I knew it!
I thought surely you'd last longer than that before you touched the...
The thing is, I have spent my fair share of time in a cell this year. And I've learned there's usually more than one way out of it.
What? Stop it!
You little bitch. But honestly, that's the blackest response. I mean, he's like, you know what? Not gonna fight this one. Gonna get other people. Get some red shirts. She said, nuh-uh. Oh.
No.
Yeah, I want you to hear it from my chest. Can you guys walk faster? Everyone's walking so slowly. Oh, that'd be catapults.
To fight me again.
Saved by the rock. Oh, somebody fell. Oh no, there's a rock. I thought somebody fell. Damn.
It's actually working.
Did you not trust in the light?
No, I didn't trust in you.
Pick up your weapons! Fight with us! Send these slavers back where they came from!
I mean, there is some help in numbers. A lot of y'all gonna die though, respectfully. Good shot. Okay, maybe keep those. No! Oh my God, get out of the open, get out of that outfit. Well, that's carnage. You okay, girl? Light protected you, right? That's right. So if your collar holder dies, okay, it's still on, so that didn't help. Unless she's still alive. But even then, it looks like it has to be the collar that dies to release the bond. Which sucks! Yeah, see, hers just fell off. Oh, that's the sitter. R.I.P. Oh, what happens if you have a double collar situation? Are we gonna have a double collar situation? Hurry up, we're going quickly! Damn it! Not this bitch being indestructible. Okay, so she can't use objects that could be potential weapons, but does that work on the collar? That whole repulsion? Well, we'll find out. Can you put that somewhere else? You just have this whole loud ass box. Loyal, you got all those robes. Stick it under somewhere. Who's coming? Not Maddie. Okay, we don't have time. Let's go.
What are you doing here?
We don't know. Let's go.
We're not the name of these people.
Friends, let's go.
I hope your friends can fight.
She said not today, bitch. He was getting showed up. He's like, wait a minute, I can't let these women do all the fighting. What a mess.
The tower was hit from our position. You did this. Good.
Exactly. Yes, double collar situation.
The Adam only works on women who can channel.
I know.
Yeah. Didn't you not figure that out? Even I figured that out.
Then I realized that you can see our weaves too. You feel it when I channel because we're linked.
Now we're both colored. Welcome to the party.
Soul damage is so weak in power that searchers didn't find you.
No. Drink that truth. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, this is delicious.
You cannot hurt your Suldam.
Shall we release each other, or are we just gonna go through this?
But first,
torture. Sweet torture.
Let me out.
Let's let it. Get that lick back, Egwene. Get it back. Get it back.
You're still my demonic. You still feel what I feel. If I die, you die.
Fair enough. Look at Egwene. She's literally standing while feeling herself dying. That's how you know who's strong in this situation. And that's why I win. I've always been stronger than you. Know that.
You said.
Should you keep your promise? You did say you'd kill her. And I'm kind of for it. But it looks like she genuinely had no idea that she was a channeler. That's sad. Oh, there you go. Be at peace, sister. You're free. Really, that was a freedom. That was a real blessing. Because this society, yeah. Well done, Egwene. Well done. Well done. That was some boss ass bitch stuff right there. Last woman standing. Oh, how nice of you to show up. Respectfully. Well, this is gonna be a mind screw. Hi, I'm alive. I need all the Aiel to survive this. Respectfully. Dead ass.
Rand, are you sure?
Yes, he's alive. I've seen him with my own two eyes. He's got shit hair, but he's alive.
I love that he had to get the shade in there.
How? Why?
I came to save you.
Thanks, but I got it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That was the right thing to say.
Let's get out of here.
She's like, I don't know if I can move.
In the flesh this time. Welcome.
Yeah, maybe not now. Rand, we've been through this. You're not... I mean, I respect it. He tried. What are they doing? Oh, they're trying to... Okay.
It's the same as your last life.
Shielded.
You tried to be so honorable. So proud. So maybe next time it'll be different.
Probably not.
Hold the shield on him until we get the signal. Then we gentle him.
I don't want to do this again.
Oh god, now we gotta go for the monologues. Wake me up when it's over.
If you keep fighting him, you'll turn them all to the dark. Just like you did in your last life. Just like you did to me.
No, that was your choice, babe. Everyone in this episode is moving so damn slowly. So this knife can cut through anything, huh? Spells or otherwise. Ooh, look at the corruption. That's crazy.
Get the horse around!
Maddie, please. You're making a no-gear fight. Go.
None of this matters if Rand doesn't have that. You're his only hope. We'll buy you some time.
You're the only hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Woo, she's a badass. We need to save all the Aiel. I'm dead ass. Hey! Me again. You owe me. You can do this, Egwene. Nynaeve. Quickly. Quickly.
I can't do it like that. It's either there or it's not. You can do it, Nynaeve.
Yes, you can.
You!
Hi. Look, can we just forget the whole thing about the wolves?
Now we'll find out what you really are.
Do we have to go through this again? Brother, we shouldn't be fighting like this. You're here, aren't you, Hopper? I knew it. I knew it. You really should know better, sir. You should know better. Hopper's like, I'm gonna... No! Why? I know. I knew it. Get up. Hurry up before they capture you. Oh, no. I didn't know you long, Hopper, but you had my heart. Oh, he's going off to the dog spirits in the sky. Get your lick back, Perrin. Get your lick back. Valda will pay. But don't be reckless. Oh, you're gonna kill his dad. That's not fair. I don't think he's gonna get past that. But anyway. Oh, maybe not that direction. What do we do? What do we do? Maybe you can blow it? says pardon? We stop time? We a time bending horn? I'm not against it. Is it everybody? It's everybody. Okay, Chandler's included. Huh. Okay, we're not stopping time. We've slowed it. We've just slowed it. Okay, can you be an all later? Let's. Oh my God, what's coming behind you? Why is there all this mist? What is happening?
I remember.
Your life? What do you remember? Are these all his past lives? Oh, he was a woman too. Okay, but yeah, wow. Was he always supposed to blow the horn? Oh no, these are people who died, because that's that guy.
The heroes of the Hall.
Oh. Great. Can we do something quickly?
I am one of you. I have fought by your side times beyond number.
Oh. So this was Matt's horn all along.
Well, let's not just feck and stand here.
Right? Quickly, before this battle starts, these guys speed up. Okay, you better wield that dark knife. I have no idea what that means, but I agree. Nice knowing you. Get out of my way. You're ugly. You're mama. Oh, I'm sorry. Respectfully, he killed a dog. He killed a dog. But I understand that is your daddy. Okay, Perrin, I need you to get out of your wolf rage now. Focus. Okay, well, I guess y'all are enemies now. He's gone. Your daddy's gone. He's like, I've got a lot of rage. I did not enjoy the way I died. Here's the thing. Like, I want Matt to get to the top, but I don't want him to get to the top because he's got that damn dagger. We're going to end the season with Rand with that damn thing in his gut, aren't we?
I'm going to push it through. This world.
Aren't you supposed to break the... Break off the feathers. What are you doing?
Can you... I might.
She's bleeding. Can you not tie her up or anything?
I don't know if I'll be able to channel when I get there. Whatever she's facing, she needs you, not me.
You need to start believing in yourself, Nynaeve. I mean, I get it. It's usually like all or nothing with you, but...
Will you join us?
The answer is a resounding hell no, I hope.
I will never serve him.
He said what he said.
1,000 lives. I never have. I know that. I'm sure of it.
You're so much like Lou.
Oh my God, what? You think loyalty's a unique trait? Billions have it, sir. He's gonna duck. Okay, so what people said about it being different. She saw it as him directly stabbing him, but that's not what happened. Oh, but that dagger is like poison. It corrupts. Nynaeve, we're gonna need you.
Such a simple illusion. How could you not see it?
Ren.
He's been doing magic for 15 minutes, asshole. Oh my God, someone please knock Ishii out. I'm so sick of him. I don't want to hear another speech.
How did you?
You.
Me.
You cannot face down one of the chosen, child.
Are you sure? Are you sure? She's like, you're not taking my man again. She's had enough. She's really had enough, Ishii. You have no idea. This was terrible, what you put her through, but you kind of trained her for this.
I think it's Rand they're shielding.
Why? You don't know who they are. What if Lanfear put us here for you to do this?
No, she said it.
What if it's not Rand?
I will let 1,000 innocent people die if there's even a chance that he will live.
Woo! She said what she said.
You to understand that.
That's exactly. You gotta be in or out, bro. She's made that pretty clear since day one. You've got work to do. Come on, Moiraine. I know this has been pent up for months. Let loose, girl. Come on, Lan. That's right. You got some aggression too. Got your ass knocked out several times in the past 2 episodes. This is some nonsense. Woo! He caught an arrow, bitch! He caught an arrow! What? Lan, you better stop being so damn hot. Oh my god. Nynaeve, honey, she needs you. Keep going. Matt, do you have any idea how hard this is? She's getting tired.
I'm here. Nynaeve's here too.
Better with friends, but I guess you don't know what that... Nynaeve.
Hurry.
Nynaeve, baby.
Sorry. It was a mistake.
We know it was a mistake, baby. Can we do something about it now? Quickly? Nynaeve, we're gonna need you. He's fading.
How are you?
Well, not you falling in love again at the wrong possible moment. Right in front of your ex, too. Oh, ew. Okay, that'll do.
Randy, you have to do something.
Can't. He's shielded.
I'm shielded.
You gotta take out every last one of them damn shit. Ooh, her weave's going to water. Her weave said submariner. Her weave said you better look out, Aqua Queen, okay? Hope y'all can swim in all that heavy ass armor, long ass dresses. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. Rand's like, step aside, love. You've done enough. You see that, don't you, Ishi? You see it. Is it that simple? But he wanted to die, though, didn't he? Oh, well, he just said bye, sword. Oh, it burned him. Why? Should weaves burn? Or is that because of the wound? Lanfear definitely wanted this to happen.
It's beautiful.
He did want to die, though.
Do you see it, love?
Who?
Nothing. It's wrong.
Yeah, you would fade to ash. 3,000 years old. Straight to dust. Bye. I'd be assisting. I'd be blowing just to make sure it really blew all the way away. Why would he just let himself get killed, though? That seems like he had so many opportunities to leave. Oh, she's taking out the whole fleet. That's hot, Moiraine.
They're retreating.
Still, I want to blow them up. Don't ruin my fun. What are we doing? Where'd that fire come from? Here's your moment, Rand. This is your moment. Make it count. Make it epic. Okay, that's kind of badass. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty cool. They're cheering. They don't even know who they're cheering for. Sir, that's the time? Well, I mean, I guess after the months they've had.
Kara.
Oh, bye. Thanks for fighting. Hope to see you again. Maybe. Oh, look at you falling in love, Lanfear. Wow, Perrin's eyes still haven't changed back. He's that angry. Oh, loyal. How are they not burning up? That'd be so hot. I didn't hear the declaration. Another Forsaken?
Okay, dear.
I'm assuming. Yep, broken seal.
Ishamael lets us out.
Yep.
All of us.
Damn. Something tells me I'm gonna miss Ishamael.
Where are the others?
Ah. Damn. You're gonna make me miss Lanfear too.
We're always too close to the dragon. The rest of us don't share that feeling. Softly from the shadows.
Oh my god, really?
You don't want to fight me.
You sure? I feel like she does. Ew.
This is not a fight.
Great. So we got rid of a face toucher for a sniffer? Great.
When I strike, I don't miss.
Oh. Gauntlet dropped.
Is how it's now. All 5 of them are.
You think so, huh? Well, you know, that whole expression about the devil, you know, right? Can we bring Ishi back? I was cheering, but I didn't mean it. Come back, Ishi. We miss you. Please come back, boo.
I'd help you, Randolph.
Yeah. Oh, that's it? Damn. Not with the teaser for what's to come. Whew, all right, guys, that was the season finale of season 2 of The Wheel of Time. And wow, that was really cool. We got a lot of really good information about some more of our foes, because we really haven't heard a lot about the Forsaken and kind of like what we're dealing with as far as they're concerned. But we know that they're dangerous, and now we're really starting to get the sense of how dangerous that they are. But outside of that, we just got that convergence that I was saying, that like our 5 were going to get back together. I was kind of hoping we get some Land and Moiraine in there too, but it is what it is. I just have to accept the fact that I'm not going to get my Lenny for a while, but that's okay. Oh, where do we start? Let's kind of go through it, I guess, each person as we got up to the finale here. I'll start with who had the shortest. Probably, yeah, we can talk about Nynaeve, actually. She kind of was the lesser person in this episode. We saw that the Suldam, you know, can actually be collared, and that they are in fact channelers. Because I said the only way it seems to want to work is that they'd have to be able to channel, and then people in the comments of course said that yeah, it makes sense that they would have to be channelers in order to be able to use the what do you call it, the cuff, and be able to control these channelers, right, or even know how to do the spells. So yeah, it makes sense, and it's very interesting to me that Rena had no idea. But anyways, we see that they did collar the Suldam, and she was not loving it at all. She was not loving the pain. She was not loving being collared, and she was actually more afraid of being seen defeated than she was of whatever it was that Nynaeve might do to her, which is very interesting, but also shows you the power of belief and how it can really shape the way people act. But we see that basically what I said in the last episode, I said it's gonna be one of 2 things. Either they were just gonna torture her for information or try to get in, and it was the latter. We see that Nynaeve decided to dress up as one of the Suldam, and like I said, she looked kind of badass. I mean, the outfit's kind of ugly, but you know, the dark makeup and everything, I feel like it's a little foreshadowing maybe about where we're gonna see Nynaeve go. And again, not that I think she's gonna be like evil, but with I think how ugly this war is going to get, she's not going to be able to, I don't think anyone's going to be able to be 100% black or white in this situation. I think everyone's going to have to cross some gray lines and possibly dig into some darker parts of themselves to get what needs to be done, as it were. And so seeing how she was when she was basically explaining the link that she had between herself and the Suldam, and you know, how she can just manipulate it, you could see that while it was obviously somewhat necessary, she was kind of enjoying it. And not in like a, ooh, this is great to see someone tortured, but I guess it's more in the relishing of the power. You could see that it was something that she was not exactly opposed to. Like, she wasn't disgusted at all by what she was doing. Because when you think about it, if we're going to be truly moral about it, she really shouldn't have liked using that thing at all. She should have been like repulsed by using that power, but she wasn't. And again, there's, I'm sure, a lot of other reasons why, outside of the fact that these people are doing horrible things to other channelers. I think it was just, again, a bit of feeling in control, because I do think that Nynaeve has been struggling with feeling a bit out of control and out of touch because of the way her powers work. But anyway, we see her with this girl and really just kind of, like I said, just tweaking the heck out of her, trying to get her to talk, but she really isn't cooperating. And they're running out of time because obviously the attack of the White Cloaks ends up being simultaneous with everything else that's happening. So she's like, you know what, we're gonna have to make our move, because this is actually kind of the best time when everyone's distracted with the battle, less eyes on what we're doing. So they decide to go and try to get to Egwene, but of course then we find out that all of the Damane and Suldam are being, well, the strongest are being summoned to the top of the highest tower to work as active defense against the incoming White Cloaks, which there was a lot of them. I didn't realize how many of them had congregated, but we'll get to the White Cloaks in a second. So anyways, they try to make their way there, but unfortunately there are archers who are there everywhere, and they see the Suldam and they're just taking them out because they don't realize obviously that these girls are undercover. And we lose, Nynaeve loses the sul'dam that she's collared, and then she realizes that the collar comes off when they die. And that's, of course, for us as audience to understand that that's one way that the collar goes off. It's channeled or locked into living energy. And it looks like it has to be the collar wearer that dies to break the connection. It doesn't look like it changes if the sul'dam dies. But we don't know, actually, because we didn't see a situation where the sul'dam died before the channeler did. But I'm assuming that's probably the way that it worked. So anyways, that happens, and unfortunately, Elaine ends up getting shot in the leg. And Nynaeve, who like I said, we saw last season that she's able to heal an entire room in a matter of seconds. She is scared. She does not want to channel. She doesn't know what to do. And again, if she knew what she was doing or had more control over her power, she should have been able to easily heal Elaine of that and fully, quite frankly, and go about her way. But she's still so scared of her power. She's so scared of letting loose. And it's very interesting because we've seen this since the beginning of the season that Nynaeve has been really struggling with using her abilities. And again, I don't think it's necessarily just because of her lack of control, but there is something mentally and emotionally blocking her from feeling comfortable with doing that. And I do think it comes back to her accepting what she is, because I think she's her whole life had a very narrow vision of what she is, right? She's the wisdom from the two rivers, and her job is to care for people and protect the people she loves and just live this simple kind of mundane life. And to find out that not only is she one of the most powerful channelers ever, but that what she does and what she has could potentially change the trajectory of the world is a lot, right? They're all dealing with this in some degree, but it's just something that I think is really, she's really, and then of course, being an Aes Sedai, because she started the training, and she already had a very narrow viewpoint of what Aes Sedai are and what they represent and what they mean. There's just a lot of things warring in Nynaeve's mind that are just blocking her from accessing her power at all. And again, it's not that it's blocking, because she can channel it if she wants to, but to do it of her own volition is really where that block is, right? Because like when she said to Elaine, it's either there or it's not. I do believe it does somewhat work that way for her, but again, the there only happens when she's scared or frustrated or angry. And that's not helpful, but it's also not true, right? It's always there, but that's only when she chooses to tap into it, when kind of like she gets overwhelmed and has to let it out. So really, it's just going to come down to that acceptance, I think, for her, of accepting that, yes, this is what I am. I am a channeler. It is what it is. Does she necessarily have to be an Aes Sedai? Maybe not, right? But at this point, she is in fact a channeler, and this power she has can be beneficial. And for the most part, it has been, right? She hasn't really used it in a destructive fashion thus far. So anyway, let's hope that in season 3, she really starts to tap into the fact that she can use this power and not have it being tied to being an Aes Sedai or having a belief system, but just the fact that this is a gift that she has that can help her do the very things that are her priority, which is protecting the people that she loves, right? So anyway, we see that she's not really able to use her powers, and I love that Elaine, instead of trying to push her, she says, you know what? Your wisdom, right? If all else fails, you do know how to do medical stuff, just do that. Like, I won't die from this, ideally. So just, do what you need to do. So that's what she does. And then they make their way because they need to get to the top of the tower because they want to help Egwene. And then she says to Elaine, I don't know that I'll be able to channel when I'm up there. So that's why I have to bring you with me, because she's going to need you. Egwene's going to need you. So again, kind of sad, because really when she said that to me, that says Nynaeve already made up her mind that she was not going to use her powers. Right? She already decided, no, I'm not ready to do that. So we need to get her ready is my point. Like, I think all of this is just to say Nynaeve needs to get ready because now, considering what happened at the end of the episode, she's not going to have the option to just hide behind fear very much longer. So anyway, that was pretty much Nynaeve. She gets to the top as we saw what happened. We'll get to the end in a minute. Talking about things that need to be embraced, we might as well just dovetail into Matt. The little speech that, what's his name? I always forget his name. Fane, that Fane gave him, around accepting all sides of yourself, including the dark. Nynaeve needs to accept the fact that she's got this power and that she has the ability, and one would almost argue the responsibility, to use in this situation. But yeah, on to Matt. We see that Ishamael decides that because Lanfear shows up with Rand ahead of schedule, apparently he was not supposed to be in Falme yet. And he realizes that Lanfear has chosen to protect Rand over the grand plan. And so he decides to institute a backup plan, which I don't know if that was one he already had or if he just decided to come up with it. But his backup plan is, okay, If that's the case, then I need to get Matt to hurry up and fulfill this prophecy that Min had. We know that through his ability, he was able to see Min's prophecy. But as we learned last season, and again, I think it was reiterated this season, is that while Min's prophecies always come true, they don't always come true in the way that she sees them, right? So the stabbing of Rand was going to happen, but like I said, we saw in that vision, Rand just fell down. We did not see him die. But Ishamael clearly took it at face value, which was good for our group, obviously. He thought that it meant that Rand would have to die and that he'd just have to wait till the next spin of the wheel when he was reincarnated again and try this again. But anyway, he says, okay, if that's going to happen, give Matt the knife now. We're just going to let this thing play out and have it happen. So Fane is given the job of giving him the dagger. And Matt is, he basically says to him, like, just hurry up and take it. We know that you're going to take it. And Matt's like, what makes you think I'll do it? And he's like, because you have shadow in you. And then he tells Matt that, like, once you learn to embrace it, that's basically when you're going to be, quote unquote, free. And I agree with that statement in the sense of we all have darkness, right? Every single person on the planet has got darkness in them. Whether or not they choose to act on it is where the difference lies, right? That's that whole expression of the wolf that you feed, right? So in the case of Matt, he thinks he's all darkness, right? That's the problem. He really thinks that the dark part of him is much bigger than or overshadows all the light in him. And that's why he's scared to accept that, because he's like, if I accept it, then that means that I'm just giving up and saying that I'm evil and I'm bad, the way that my mom always said and everybody else always said, where really that's not the case, right? He just has darkness in him. Now, why it's communicating with this damn knife, I still don't know. And I guess we'll learn more about that hopefully in season 3, because that's one of my biggest complaints, I guess, about this season, if I'm going to have one. I feel like Matt was such a footnote, and there's just no excuse for it, because we have the new actor. He's here. Like, I get it. Like, there was a little bit of a, I guess you can say, disruption with having to change out the cast in the, last minute, but really, there was no reason, in my opinion, to have Matt take such a back seat this season. But anyways, I'm sure that the writers had their reasons, and I really hope that we're going to get more in season 3 about him. But again, I haven't read the book, so maybe Matt always does take more of a background type of role overall in the books. But anyway, I think that Matt really needs to understand that while he does have this darkness and it does connect with this knife in a way that apparently other people don't, it doesn't mean that he is innately evil. It doesn't mean that there's no good in him. It just means that there is a side to him, that this side exists. And if he can learn to accept that and realize that's not all of him, that's really when he'll be able to kind of find that strength to move forward in whichever way he chooses, and not thinking that the dark is what's choosing for him. And that's really what Ishamael was trying to make him believe, is that, oh, the dark's going to decide for you. Like, you have no choice in it. The dark's decided. But no, he's in control of the dark, right? It's there. He can't necessarily get rid of it, but he can decide whether or not he's going to do the dark thing, if that makes sense, or let that darkness overtake him. So anyway, he's left with the dagger. We see eventually that he wants to get out of this room. Like, he is realizing that he is like a drug addict, struggling not to grab this knife. So he comes up with a countermeasure where he doesn't touch it directly, but ties it onto a pole and basically turns it into a spear. So he's still in its aura, but it's not having that direct effect that he has when he has actual skin contact with it. So good on Matt. You can't say the kid's dumb. And he manages to get himself out of the room. And Fane apparently was not anticipating that Matt would come up with a workaround. He runs off, so that jerk's still around. And Matt decides to go and, get into the fray. And I think he heard that Rand was in the city, so he basically wants to get to Rand. But of course, it's interesting that he doesn't really think about the fact of the prophecy, right, that Min told him. He just wants to get out. But I guess he's thinking, if I don't hold the knife directly, I can't do it. But digressing. So that's kind of Matt. But the big reveal with Matt was, of course, when he's given the horn in the fray of everything, because he meets up, of course, with Perrin and the Aiel and Loyal and what's left of the Shirin. And they hand him the horn, right? He uses the knife to cut through the box that's protecting it, because apparently that thing can cut through just about anything, and also corrupts, as we notice as well. But digressing. But he gets the horn. They say, you know what, get the horn to Rand, because they believe that Rand's the one who has to blow it. And he takes off, because he's probably the least versed in fighting, or so he believes at that time. And he gets to a point where he's almost to the top of the tower, but there is literally a small battalion of soldiers there, and he realizes there's no way I'm going to be able to fight my way through that. What do? He thinks, I got the horn. What's the worst that can happen, right? So he blows the horn, and it seemingly slows time down. And I don't know if time was really slowed or if it's just what Matt experienced We'll find out at some point maybe. But everything slows down and we see that this whole mist kind of develops behind him and he says, I remember now. Now, at first I thought maybe it was his past lives, but I'm thinking it has to be. And at first I thought all the people that were showing up behind him were his past selves, but then we saw the dude that was with the Sheeran. So that clearly couldn't be him because they were existing at the same time. So I don't know. I still don't fully understand what the Horn did. I guess that's my way of saying it. I don't fully get what's going on there, but apparently, like I said, we're all warriors of the Horn or guardians of the Horn. I forget the exact terminology, but they basically said they're associated with the Horn. And apparently, I think Matt remembered from his former lives that this is not the first time he's either fought alongside them or blown the horn, one or the other, because we see that the one chick, the badass, said, we fought alongside you more times than we can count. So very interesting. Again, that could mean also actually the guy with the eye patch who died a couple episodes ago, maybe he in a past life fought with Matt, maybe? Anyway, the whole past lives thing's confusing. But yes, so basically the point is it looks like Matt was meant to blow the horn, or he has at some point before. That's what I'm going to assume. And it helped to trigger some access to his past lives that he didn't have before, right? Which is good because that whole thing he had with when he drank the hallucinogenic tea from Ishi, he really started to think that that was his past lives, that he's always been rotten. But now, if what I'm assuming is correct, when he blew that horn, he actually got true insight into his past lives. Now he knows that what Ishi said was a lie, or at least hopefully now he'll draw the conclusion that there was lies told and that it's not always been that way for him. And so anyway, we see that he gets like emboldened for the first time, I think, this whole season. Like, I finally know what I'm supposed to do now. And they're like, yep, let's do this. Let's do this battle. Like, you blew the horn. We're here to fight. Let's go. So that's what happens. He goes, he ends up starting the fight. He's actually pretty damn good. And I don't know if did we see Matt fight last season? I don't think we really saw him fight last season. So this feels like it might be past lives memory, muscle memory coming through as far as his fighting skills, because he suddenly was a badass with a spear. You know, he was going through and cutting through these people, and we see that these warriors of the Horn are clearly not truly there, but they are able to fight as though they're there, because right, we saw them floating over the edges and misting in and out like some kind of Thanos snap things, but it was crazy. We like some kind of fades. I loved it. But yes, Matt manages to make his way through thanks to this horn and that clarity that the horn gave him. So he, and I noticed that one of the warriors took the horn and it looks like it was almost absorbed into them. So now I'm not sure where the horn went, just to be real. I'm not sure what happened to it, but it's out there still somehow. And I'm not sure who's supposed to blow it next or if it's supposed to stay with Matt, but it's interesting that it exists and that's what it exists for. And it makes me wonder if it works that way for whoever wields it too, or if it's just for certain people. But yes, questions about the horn, though, we're just going to have to wait and see if they're answered next season. But it's a big deal because we saw that the Sheeran died for it, or at least one more of the Sheeran died for getting it outside of Falm and back to whoever they felt should have it. So yeah, with Matt, that's pretty much where things end for him, except for when he gets up to the top of the tower. And then, of course, we see that he thinks he's killing Ishmael, but actually he ends up spearing Rand. He fulfills the vision, but of course it's not in the way that Min saw it. So either way, Rand gets stabbed by the knife, and that's all we needed to see. But as we all know, that knife corrupts, and they made sure to show us the corruption both on the box that held the horn and on Rand's wound. So I don't think that's the end of what's going on with that stab wound, unfortunately, but we're going to have to wait till next season to find out. But anyway, very cool for Matt to finally feel like he's got a purpose. And I feel like he feels more like he belongs with his friends now, thanks to that whole situation. And that's good, right? We need Matt on board. He's been kind of back and forth all season. Now I feel like he's finally on board, at least for now. So that was good. Good wrap up for Matt. As far as this episode, like I said, we could have gotten more this season, but we'll take it. Moving on to Egwene. That was another baller part of this episode. Can we talk about it? So Egwene, of course, is pulled into battle because she has to be. And Ren is talking her shit. And basically she's saying, Egwene is letting her know, as usual, that like, look, girl, the only reason I'm doing a damn thing is because this collar is on my neck, not because you have broken me. I need you to know this. And so she tells her to, she's trying to order Egwene around. Egwene's like, nah. And then, of course, she threatens to cut out her tongue and do all this other stuff. And Egwene's like, girl, do your worst. Like, I'm tired. Okay? I'm tired. I am tired of you. Like, cut out my tongue, because even then, you'll still know that means that you couldn't break me. But anyway, instead of that, she cuts off Egwene's braid, right? Because we saw that Egwene was using it to kind of give herself comfort in the last episode. So she cuts off her braid, but I'm like, sucks, but not the worst thing. At least her hair will grow back. You know, a hand or a tongue, bigger deal. The hair, that's probably the lesser evil. We can take that. But anyway, she takes Egwene out to the battlefield, and Egwene she's pissed. She's been pissed for like the last 3 episodes. They get to the top of the tower, and Egwene at first does not want to do anything because she's seeing the mayhem that this battle is causing. But then she sees the White Cloaks, specifically the White Cloaks that captured her last season, and she's like, I've had enough with every damn body who keeps trying to capture me and tie me up and keep me and take my autonomy from me. Like, you could just see the wave of anger and just fed up come over her body. And like I said, even though the White Cloaks were kind of helping us in a way, I understand why she was like, nah, fam, they gotta go. So she lets loose a big ass fireball, knocks out half of them. And, you know, it gives her some momentary relief. But then, of course, she sees after that, oh no, like, I can't do this. Like, I can't take out my revenge and not indirectly affect or directly affect all these innocent people who had nothing to do with this. So she kind of reels herself back in. And of course, we see that Renna's like, yeah, keep going. And she's like, nah, like, I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm going to hurt innocents at this point. And of course, she's being watched by Renna's being watched by the other, I guess, upper sul'dam. And the upper sul'dam's like, did you lose control of your damane? And she's like, no, I got it under control for real, like shaking and crying. But anyway, so of course, this is when she decides she's going to teach Egwene a big fat lesson by cutting off her hands because she embarrassed her in front of everyone. And Egwene's kind of like, all right, well, not what I wanted to happen, but I am, because she said she took a mouthpiece out, spit it out, and said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing what you said you told me to do. So we see that's about to happen. But then, of course, the White Cloaks were prepared, right? They realized what they were going up against, and they had catapults set up, and they started attacking the tower. We get a big blast in the tower. It basically kills pretty much everybody because, yeah, that's a lot of rock, and those girls were not prepared for that. So everyone gets knocked out and almost killed, except, of course, Renna survives. But that's a good thing, I suppose, because, again, maybe we wouldn't be able to get the collar off. But anyhow, Egwene wakes up before Renna does, and she sees the blue sitter the Aja sitter from the blue Aja. There we go. And that she has passed. And as soon as the life left her, the collar fell off. And so Egwene, being the smart girl she is, figures out, so that's how you get the collar off. Gotcha. One of us has got to go. But she grabs the collar, which is like, get that collar, girl, because that's when it hit me. Oh, I never knew there could be a double collar situation. Right? Let's see. So Egwene, because I was a little worried that she wouldn't be able to get it on her because she's thinking, but I guess it's not really a weapon, right? Like I said that in the episode. I'm like, does she view the collar as a weapon? Because that's the only thing she wouldn't be able to do is if she thought of like, I guess if she was thinking about hitting Renna over the head with it, she wouldn't have been able to do it. But I guess it worked. Either way, but even if it was just plot, I'm happy about it. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth here. So she does it. She plans for it. Renna, of course, gets all mad at her and it's kind of like, you know, this is all your fault. You defied me, blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, girl, I'm tired. And then Renna, of course, gets one more torturous blast in there, which I think would have steeled any sympathy or empathy that Egwene could have had towards her went in that last moment. And then Egwene gets the collar on her. We have a double collar situation. Sorry. I feel like there's like one of those WWE voices just entered my mind with that. But anyway, she collars her up. And Renna gets all cocky. She's like, girl, you're so stupid. This thing's not going to work because it only works on channelers. And then, of course, the collar does its thing. And she's like, wait, what? And like I said, I was shocked because I really thought that all sul'dam knew that. But it makes sense that the Shan-Chan or whoever created the situation would never tell them that they were also channelers. Because that, again, when it comes to any situation with slavery, and I said this way back in the episode with Egwene, that slavery only works if the whole system is in place, right? So you have to have the slaves believing that they're not actually equals, and you have to have the people around them believing that these people are not equals as well, and you also have to condition them to believe that what's going on is normal, right? So it makes sense that even the sul'dam have been conditioned to believe that they're not channelers or that they have a connection with the very people that they're oppressing directly, right? So that all makes sense. But yeah, I'm just surprised that, she didn't know. But anyhow, Egwene lets her know that, excuse me, I am a pupil. I am smart. I am brains as well as beauty and brawn. So letting you know that, yeah, I figured out that the only way you'd be able to connect to me and be able to like understand my channels is if you could channel too. The only difference is that you weak, girl. You weak. You weak in the knees. So weak that these girls can't even see your weaves, but they're there. And that's why Suldam are clearly not just anybody. They have to be low-level channelers. I don't know who sees that. There must be somebody out there who figured that out, or maybe that's part of their training. They figure out who's low-level channelers based on who can actually handle the collar or the cuff, but digressing. So yeah, she lets her know, gives her that little education lesson. And of course, Ren is freaking out, but then she's like, well, you're still my Damane. And she's like, yeah, but you're mine. So what it is, ho, what's up, right? So they have their little fight, but then of course Egwene wins because Egwene's like, girl, you don't know suffering. You have bred me for this. You don't know suffering. You don't know strength. I'm going to show you. And of course she wins the showdown because she is the stronger channeler of the two, right? So she ends up knocking Rena up and hanging her on the wall, reminiscent of what we saw those episodes back when she forced Egwene into finally drinking the water, and leaves her up there and says, listen, the only way this happens, she's like, well, of course, Rena's like, hey, if I die, you die. And she's like, okay, we'll play a game of chicken. Because the only way that you're getting off that wall is if you release me first, right? And so Rena doesn't want to do it, but of course, Rena is losing air quickly. And of course, the panic is setting in. And that had to be hard for Egwene too, because she's clearly choking as well. But she's like, if we got to go, I'd rather us go together. Like, I will take you to hell with me. And I love that. I love that energy. But yes, Egwene was like, I'll drag you to hell myself. And so, of course, she wins because Egwene is strong. As Loyal said a few episodes back, she is steel underneath all of that beauty. And so Rena does let her go. And then she's like, okay, let me down. And Egwene's like, no. Actually, no, I hate you. I hate you. I promised you I'd kill you. And I'm a woman of my word. So you're going to have to just sit there and literally choke to death because that's the minimum you deserve. That was actually the kindest way Egwene could have killed her, to be fair. But anyway, she dies. So peace out, Rena. Bye. Your lick back was not as glorious as I would have liked, but it's still very satisfying. And it's over. My girl rescued her damn self. Queen, recognizing queens. Love that. Egwene. Egwene leveled up. She leveled up. You know what I said? But it was harsh. Anyways, Rand shows up late, as usual, and he's like, I'm here to rescue you. And Egwene's like, it's fine. I got it. It's fine. But let's talk about how you're still alive, and I didn't know that. Rand at least does the right thing and says, hey, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have lied to you. I didn't do it out of a malicious place, but I am sorry. She just has this look on her face like, I've got a lot of questions and a lot of yelling to do, but I almost died a second ago. So I'm just going to take a minute. I'm just going to let this happen for now, and we'll take this up later. And they don't really have time to even get into it because, of course, Ishii shows up after that. And, we realize that later on she ends up being a real problem for Ishii because he does knock her out initially because, like I said, she was still very much recovering from almost choking to death. But later on, when he tries to come for Rand, she actually ends up hitting him with one of those air spells that she learned just last episode. But then she puts up a shield, and it's decent because Ishmael can't break through it. Like, I shouldn't say can't. Eventually, he was going to wear her out. We saw that he still had a lot more firepower when she was starting to wilt. But I do wonder that if she hadn't been already drained from channeling and just about dying, if maybe she would have been able to go toe-to-toe with him for a while. I don't know. We'll never know. But it was formidable, and you can see that Ishamael was not prepared for that. Like, I don't think he knew she was powerful, but I don't think he recognized just how powerful, considering that she's had so little training so far. But like I said, as much as it sucks what he put her through, becoming a Damane, it really trained her for this. Like, she now can put up with a lot of pain and push through if necessary. So thank you, Ishii. Thank you. You indirectly helped me with this. Like, I hate you for it, but you kind of screwed yourself over with putting me through this because probably the Egwene of the beginning of the season would not have been able to stand up to him like that. So it is what it was. And she ended up helping to protect Rand because, listen, she may be pissed at him right now, but that's still her man, at least in her mind. Even though the man, fell in love with the lane right in front of her. Men. Anyway, and that was pretty much Egwene, right? Basically, she held up until reinforcements showed up. And, of course, when Rand got released. And so, yeah. And then we saw her at the end looking very pissed as she stood beside him about to make his declaration. So I do wonder what's going through her mind right now. But like I said, she's been through a lot. So I think that in season 3, we're going to see a lot of her feeling the ramifications of what went down as far as being a Damane. But it definitely made her stronger. But we just got to hope it didn't make her bitter on top of everything else, because she still needs to keep in touch with that softer side of her that we saw earlier this season. But I'm glad that she got that level up that she so very much needed. And now we just need to shift that onto Nynaeve. But yeah, so that was Egwene. And then we'll roll into Rand, I suppose. Actually, no, before we get into Rand, because Rand is kind of where we end everything, we have Perrin. Perrin, again, kind of had a quieter role in this episode. He made it into Falm with the Aiel. He found Loyal, which was great. And then basically they saw that they had the horn and they were like, okay, we need to go. But then, of course, Loyal's like, no, Egwene's here, Rand's here. Or no, he only knew about Egwene. And so, of course, we know that Perrin has a really soft spot for Egwene. So he was like, yeah, let's go. We'll find her. We'll get her out. And he goes through, he bumps into the son of the White Cloaks commander, Dane? His name was Dane, right? They have a moment where they're kind of like, hey, what's up? But what? And then, unfortunately, we see that Child Valda sees Perrin, and of course there's unfinished business there. And Perrin almost gets bested because, of course, he's already been battling how many people? But Hopper, R.I.P., you were a real one, man. Hopper comes in and says no. Like, he senses there's danger, comes in, saves Perrin's life, but unfortunately, Dane's father sees him and kills him. Oh, he hurts our beautiful puppy and sends him off to the puppy heaven in the sky. And we see that this causes Perrin to wolf out. He just gets pure rage at it, and he goes after Dane's father and takes him out. Right? Just pure revenge. Just sheer seeing red revenge. Like, even after he killed, like, that first axe swipe was enough, but my man was like, I'm going to send you to hell in pieces. And of course, Dane sees this, doesn't understand, wouldn't possibly understand, probably still wouldn't have forgiven him anyways, because he's probably like, why are you upset? It was a wolf. But anyway, but sadly, Child Valda got away. So he's still going to be a problem, obviously. But anyway, he sees that and he gets dragged away by his people later on, because we see eventually that Loyal and all them show up and are basically like, dude, you need to calm down. But we just see that Perrin's he's gone. Like I said, he's in a wolf rage. He's just trying to get like all this anger out. Now he's definitely created an enemy in Dane, sadly, at least I think, because yeah, of course, Dane kind of owes him his life, but now it's kind of like, but you killed my dad. We'll see what happens. That could go one way or another, but I can't think it's going to go well initially. But yeah, unfortunately, he took out one op just for another one to rise, because Dane is definitely going to be on a mission to get to Perrin and probably his group of people, just because of the revenge of losing his dad and watching his dad get hacked to pieces in front of him. And I can't say I blame him at this point, right? He doesn't know the whole context. But anyway, that happens with Perrin, and that's pretty much it, really, because after he wolfs out, they just end up at the top of the tower. But like, again, I think it just shows again that his wolf connection is getting stronger, because like I said, his golden eyes did not go away after that. They stayed on. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're going to stay gold now, but we did hear that eventually they will stay that color. So it seems like that those golden transitions are lasting longer and longer, and we're going to find out, I guess, next season what that means. Perrin's with the group now, and he brought some friends, and they're happy about it, because now the Aiel were able to see that they finally found who they were looking for, and I cannot pronounce what they call Rand in their language, but they recognized him immediately. So, but that's good. I feel like I said, the Aiels are badasses, and I'm glad they all survived, because I feel like our group's going to need as much fighting help as possible. So yeah, so that's pretty good. Like I said, not much to say about Perrin. He was very much kind of in the background of this episode, but he's with the group again, and that's all that matters. Moving on to Moiraine and Lan. So they get dumped in the middle of nowhere. Well, not really in the middle of nowhere. They're dumped out on the beach quite a ways from Falm. But again, this is all part of Lanfear's plan, because she knows that Ishamael has got some backup plans set up with all of his channelers and the people he's controlling. And because this is a long way from Falm, it gives both Lan and Moiraine a chance to have a long overdue conversation, because, hey, all they're doing is walking. And basically, Lan asks for his bond back, because, of course, she broke the bond because she thought, hey, I'm not Aes Sedai anymore. You don't need this anymore. But Lan's like, no, I want it back. And she kind of doesn't say anything. She's kind of like, look, dude, like, I hurt you. I literally went out of my way to hurt you. Like, why do you want to be bonded to me again? And he gives a really, sweet and insightful speech, and basically says, look, I know why you don't want this, because you don't want me to see the less strong sides of you. You don't want me to see that you're scared, you're feeling vulnerable, you feel like you screwed up, you're overwhelmed. Like, the whole season, Lan's been like, you need help, and I know that, and you're just refused to ask for it. And I know that our connection means I'm going to feel that coming from you, but I'm not scared of it, right? He's like, I understand. Like, he's like, you can't hurt me anymore. You said the worst thing you could say, and it hurt me, but I'm over it, and I still want to be here. So give me my bond back, woman, right? And so when he kind of says all that, like, Moiraine's like, okay, She doesn't say it out loud, but you can tell she's like, damn, this man actually does know me. What do you know? After 20 years, this guy actually knows me. And like I said, he's effectively a partner. He's effectively a husband, right? For richer or poorer, better or worse, calling me a not equal, all that stuff. I'm still here. So once that happens, she finally says, look, when I said that statement about us not being equals, it's not because I thought I was better than you. It's because I thought you were better than me. And of course, got him all like, bottom lip trembling, because that's all he ever wanted to hear. Not that he ever thought he was better, but again, just to know that Moiraine never thought lesser of him obviously means a lot to him. And so I'm glad they got to finally mend that bridge, because we need these two to be on the same page, right? Like, I love their relationship. I really do, honestly. Lan belongs with his woman, of course. I'm still fully on the Nynaeve ship, but as far as platonic, family relationship goes, I really like Moiraine and Lan together. So I'm glad that they're finally kind of over that hurtful hump. And Moiraine decides, okay, you know what? I'm going to give you the bond back. Because what he said was true. They do need each other. They absolutely do she needs help. She can't do this on her own. And she realized that very, very harshly this season. So she gives him the bond back. And of course, it's emotional and kind of beautiful. And I think it's, even a bit sad, because I think Lan finally feeling all that she's feeling again was a bit of a gut punch, but a good one, right? He's happy to be back in her good graces and back where he feels he belongs. And so that's all nice and settled. They're starting to head towards Felm again. And then Moiraine figures out, because she sees the weaves going from the ships, because we see that one of Ishi's backup plans for Rand was to shield him and then have him gentled if he couldn't kill him or didn't have him killed. And so we see that the weavers or the channelers are actually in a boat outside of Foam, and they're channeling to, keep Rand shielded. And thankfully, Moiraine is a smart cookie, and she says, oh, I see these strands are going towards the tower. It's got to be for Rand. And we see that, Lan at first is like, are you sure? Like, maybe this isn't a bad thing? And she's like, shut up. I've already said I will sacrifice the world for Rand. Like, get off me. And so Lan's like, all right, I'll do my job. I'm going to take care of these guys who are coming to kill you, and you do your thing. So Lanfear obviously planned for this because she knew this was going to happen. And so Moiraine figured out what Lanfear was asking of her, and she disrupts the weaves, takes out all of the ships that are outside of Falm in the most badass way possible. And of course, make sure that Rand is no longer shielded. So that's kind of the last thing that we see of Moiraine and Lan, because they're still outside the city. But obviously she knows that, okay, now that the ships are retreating, Falm is at least one back for now. And then she's like, now the rest of the prophecy has to happen. And I'm still not sure if she's the one who sent the fiery dragon or not, or if that was Lan. But either way, we saw her setting channels towards the tower at that time. So maybe it's her. Maybe it's her and him. I don't know. So that was kind of them. And then finally, that rolls into Rand, who kind of rounds out this whole episode. And we see that he asks Lanfear what she's up to, right? He's kind of like, what's going on? Like, after, of course, she gets rid of Lan and Moiraine, he's like, what's going on? Like, why did you get rid of them? Why? I don't understand what's happening. And Lanfear keeps saying to him, look, I am the only one who genuinely cares about you in this whole equation. She's like, everyone else is trying to use you for your power. I actually care about you as a person. And of course, he's still like, understandably, Rand's like, I don't know if I trust you. But she's like, look, whether you believe me or not, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to protect you. And we saw that did come full circle when we get to the end of the episode, that she really was looking out for Rand's well-being overall. But anyhow, Rand is let loose in Foam, and she decides to go off to Ishi and tell him that she basically brought Rand. And again, I don't know if she did that out of pride or what, because I'm thinking if she really wanted to make sure that she screwed Ishi over, why tell him about Rand early? But anyways, maybe she was hoping that he would make countermeasures and that would make a mistake. I don't know. But anyhow, Rand goes into the city. He sees Egwene, but realizes he can't necessarily go after her when she's first being marched up to the tower, because as we know, his weaves are very unpredictable at this point. But he eventually musters up the courage, decides to head towards the tower. We see him use his weaves for the first time defensively on purpose. Masterful, takes out, at least 15 people in one shot, and starts heading towards getting to Egwene. We really don't see him again up until he gets to the top of the tower. As I already mentioned, he gives his apology, and then him and Ishi have their conversation, and Ishi goes into his monologues about how, hey, we were always so close, but you always act this way. You always think that you're going to be the hero, but you're the one who pushes people to the dark. That's what actually happens. So he's like, that's what you're going to do again. You're going to turn your friends to the dark like you did me, and like you did Lanfear. So he's like, just join the dark this time and like make it easier. And he asks Rand what he wants to do, and Rand thankfully says, I will never serve the dark. It's never going to happen. I've never done it in 1,000 years, and I'm not going to do it now. So you see that Ishamael's actually a bit upset and a bit disappointed, but we get a little more history about this connection between him and Luz and Lanfear that started all so long ago. And again, we got a little flashback in the beginning kind of how, when Ishamael was first bound, and we found out that he actually wanted to die all those years ago, but Luz didn't let him do that. He kind of just made him, punished him by making him stay alive and sealed. But you see now that Ishamael's like, okay, if that's the way it's going to come down to it, then I'm going to have to just shield you and gentle you in this lifetime. And then he's like, maybe the next time around we'll change it, right? But as we all know, that doesn't work out the way that he thinks it's going to work out, because Egwene comes in to save him after he gets stabbed by Mat. And then we see that everyone else shows up. We see that Lane shows up, starts to heal him up, and she manages to do it. And I feel like, again, Nynaeve was who was necessary to actually heal that wound, because maybe she would have taken the corruption out of it, but we'll have to find out. Anyway, and we see him kind of falling in love with Elaine. I don't know what that whole haloing thing is, but y'all don't have to tell me. I have a feeling like we already know that Rand's a bit of a hoe, so I have no doubt that maybe that's gonna become a thing later. But anyhow, right in front of Egwene's salad. But anyway, so that whole thing happens, and once the weaves that are shielding him are disrupted, we see that Rand stands up, and because poor Egwene has been holding off Ishamael this whole time, Rand finally walks up and he has the sword, and instead of just using his weaves, he uses his weaves to imbue the sword and pushes it right through Ishi's heart. And Ishi just stands there and takes it, which I guess if we go back to the beginning of the episode makes sense. But like I said, I'm a little surprised that it happened that quickly, that easily. Like, it feels like he could have and should have run. But as I said, if we go back to the beginning of the episode, if all he's wanted was sweet death, then that's the reason he didn't really run and let Rand run him through, because I feel like he definitely could have deflected that somehow. But with him out of the picture, especially considering what he'd done, which was to release all the other Forsaken, I guess his backup plan, his very emergency backup plan was, they're going to break the wheel even if I can't. And at least now if I die, I'm actually out. I'm done. So it's kind of sad in a way, because clearly he really, really, really wanted to die. But yeah, very interesting that he just kind of went out that easily. And I really hope that the group does not think that because he went out like that, that they're all going to go out that easily. But anyhow, that was the end of Ishi. No more Ishi, no more creepy face touching. But sadly, that's going to be replaced by more creepiness, as we discovered with that weird spiderweb woman. Did they say her name? They probably did. I've already forgotten it. But yes. So that was Rand. Took him out, and we noticed that he burnt his hand on the hilt of the sword where he pushed it into Ishi. And I'm not sure what that means. I don't think they focused on that for nothing. I don't know if that means that somehow, like I said, the corruption of the stab wound, or something about his power poisoning him. I don't know, but I don't think he should have been burned by his own power, is my point. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out about that next season if it's still there, it becomes a thing. But then, yeah, he goes, and at that point, you know, everything's going with the fire, and the people are cheering and all these things, and he kind of stands at the edge of this tower looking out at everybody. We don't hear the declaration, though. We don't get a chance to see it, but he's standing there with his friends, and we kind of end there in a very epic, this is the winning team, maybe, moment. But how long will they get to stay together is the question, right? Like, they're back together after a whole season, but I have a feeling we're not ready to celebrate just yet. So that's kind of Rand's story. Like I said, we didn't have too much change with him outside of course, just getting his friends back, and also understanding that he said he remembered that at least that all of his past lives have always rejected the dark. So I think that's going to be good for him and his resolve. But I still don't think that means that's the end of it for him. I do think he's still going to waver, and that the words that Ishamael said about him in the past, turning his friends to the dark, might come true again. Right? So we'll have to see. But yeah, then we ended the episode with the craziest part of it all, which is the fact that we discovered that, as I just mentioned, the backup plan that Ishi had was that he released all the other Forsaken, from the sounds of things, all of them. And that was something that we see Lanfear was trying to keep from happening. We saw she got that merchant from earlier in the season. She's like, yeah, there's some seals. I want you to find them. We're going to toss them in a lake somewhere. We're going to keep them as far away as possible. But Ishamael must have already known that Lanfear did not want that to happen. And we found out throughout the episode that the reason why Ishi didn't wake anybody else was because he can't trust them, or they're too unstable. That was the word. He can't control them, I guess was the word. So we found out that Lanfear and Ishi, as problematic and powerful as they are, they were literally the best of the worst. So yes, they're all out now. We've only seen one of the ones that were released. And we saw she does some really sticky, almost like spider webby type of weaves. And she made quick work of Lanfear, so that scares me a lot because Lanfear is pretty damn powerful. So yeah, basically that girl warned Lanfear that, hey, like, y'all have the attachment to the dragon, but we don't. We just want to make a mess. We're just here for mayhem. So she's like, don't stay in our way. All 5 of them are ours. Don't get in our way unless you want to die, sort of thing. So she takes off and let Lanfear know that things are going to get from bad to worse. And we see that she basically says, I hope someone can protect you here, Luz, because /Rand, because I can't take them all on, clearly. So yeah, left us with a really big open door for season 2, a scary door for season 2 and what might happen, or season 3, pardon me, and what might happen now that we've got them. My guess is we're not going to get all of them, all of the release Forsaken in season 3, but at least the Spiderweb girl for sure, and possibly more. And it looks like we actually might get Lanfear working on our side for a while, because if she truly is about trying to protect Rand at all costs, then she's going to have to help them. At least, I'm thinking at the very least she can become a trainer, right? These ancient weaves were brought up several times this season, and I have to think it's because they've got to come back into play. So yeah, we're going to have to, maybe those collars, I wonder if those collars would work on the Forsaken. Anyway, but yeah, so a lot in this episode, but overall, I think it was a good end to the season. I mean, there definitely are still some questions that are left, lots for me. Obviously, for book readers, they probably already know a lot of the things that are coming up next, but we're definitely priming up for season 3 to get kind of crazy, right? Because even though Falm has been won back, the White Cloaks are still a problem, and we know that the Shan-Chan are not going to give up at this point, right? Like, maybe they're out of Falm, but they're still a factor. They're still out there, and we know that the lady with the bad hair who lost her nails, she still exists, even though her boat was taken down. I have no doubt she survived. They probably would have showed us. They probably would have showed us her dying if she's out of the equation. So I don't think she's gone yet. What's her name? Suroth. So there's still all that, plus the Forsaken that are out there. But at least our group's back together. How long they'll stay together, like I said, is a question. But we need to level up. That's, I think, the main theme, that everybody needs to level up going forward. And there's no more room for coddling or babying. No more training at the tower. We need to like get into this and get into it aggressively. And I'm very excited to see how that's going to happen going into season 3. But yeah, overall, I think it was really, really good. This season was really enjoyable. Too quick. I definitely could have gone for at least another 4 or 5 episodes. But I did enjoy it a lot. And as usual, I very, 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 very much enjoyed sharing it with you guys. I want to say so much thanks, so much love, so much appreciation and gratitude to the WOT community out there on Twitter, in YouTube, everywhere. You guys have been so supportive, so fun, so interactive. You've helped me out so much with the context and just really helping me to understand the things that I'm guessing right or wrong without spoiling me. And I appreciate that so, so much. And it's just been such a fun journey. You guys have made it so, so much fun. And I just feel so welcomed and so appreciated. And I just want to share all that back to you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting me throughout this season. It was too short, but hopefully we will be back again fairly soon because I enjoy doing this so much with you guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed this season a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed this journey with me. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you haven't already. Throw some love on this video. And please leave me the comments below. What are you thinking about this season? How do you feel about this finale? For those who don't know, the non-reader people out there, let me know what your predictions are, where you think things are going to go from here. I want to hear all of it. Please let me know. Let's have one great big conversation to end out this season. All right, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching along with me. And if you watch other things, we will see you in those videos. And if not, we will see you next season.